Welcome back to the Mayorverse. Mayor Reynolds, aka Midnight Mayor, coming at you with another dead drop video. This is a big one. I'm going to be talking about the new weapon meta, weapon tier list here for DEADROP Snapshot VI. Everything has changed. There's been changes to armor, changes to virtually every weapon. Some of them just the way they look, but almost all of them how the way they actually act in the game, how they fire, the damage that they do. Everything has changed. Weapons that were good in Snapshot 5 aren't necessarily as good in 6, so on and so forth. We're going to detail every single weapon for you. There are patch notes on midnightsociety.com you can check out. I'm not just going to, regurgitate those to you. I've been playing DEADROP nonstop since Snapshot 6 dropped last night. And I'm going to give you my thoughts on all the weapons, which ones you should be using, which ones are my favorites, which ones are not my favorites. And I'm going to say this is subject to change based on player behavior. During Snapshot 5, a lot of the guns their use kind of changed. Not that the gun changed so much, but the way players use them kind of changed. I'm looking at you, LMG. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. DEADROP Snapshot 6 weapon tier list. Here we go. Okay, first and foremost, let's start with the sniper rifle. Guys, it's still amazing. It's still S tier. Sniper rifle and DEADROP is still great. You can still one-shot people without body armor. You can still one-shot people in the head with it. It's wicked good. It's always worth using. I mean, look at me just dropping these people as they run in. Actually, that's the same guy twice, funny enough. It's dangerous when you see somebody shooting a sniper at you. Be wary. You need to hide or fight back if you have another sniper rifle or close the gap. Sniper rifle's still king. Don't need to get into it too much. Though I will say, I think the game has improved overall because there are less snipers on the map and our stashes are smaller. Our stashes are now 250 slots instead of 1,000. So you can't store up, a million sniper rifles like you used to. It's reduced the amount of sniping in every match, and I think that's overall a good thing. It does make the sniper rifle even stand out even more, though, because when you see one, you definitely want to grab one because they're not just everywhere. But the amount of ammo in the game has increased for snipers, it seems. So anyway, sniper, still king, still pick it up, still use it, never pass it up. Next, I'm going to talk to you about the rifles, and we're going to start with the DMR. If you remember at the start of Snapshot 5, the DMR was absolutely insane. It was the best gun. It was all around great. It was just ridiculous. They nerfed it, and it was basically at that point not even worth using except for on rare occasions, but it was nowhere near the beast it once was. They've changed it. Again, all the meta has changed, and I'm still going to say this thing is C tier. This is the first gun in the game that I think is really, really reliant on the attachments. If you shoot this thing here when I'm shooting it in this clip, you'll see that there's not a lot of recoil, and I have a bunch of attachments on it here, so I can kind of tap this guy, but you can't really contest a sniper with it, and the recoil is actually quite severe without attachments. If you're trying to shoot somebody at a range with this thing, it's actually quite difficult. So if you're up against the sniper at a range, I think you're just gonna lose. And as easy as the AR and the LMGs are to shoot with sights on them, well, the LMG is a different story. We'll get to that in a minute. I just don't see this thing. Like, I'd rather have an AR at a distance in most cases, unless it's an extreme distance. I'm not saying the DMR is useless, because it's not. I feel like it's better than it was after the patch in Snapshot 5. But with the current weapon meta and the tools available to you, I just don't think the DMR is a standout. I'm still going to keep trying to tinker with it and use it. But I just still think there's better things out there. So I'm going to go ahead and actually put the DMR at C. So here you're looking at the assault rifle, the auto rifle, the most middle of the road all-purpose weapon in the game, probably, or that's at least how it's designed. I'm putting the auto rifle in B tier right now, and this is mostly because the iron sights, without a sight, this thing is very difficult to shoot at a range. A lot of us know that the iron sights are very difficult to use. With better iron sights, I think this gun could really improve and go into A tier. I think it is improved in general over Snapshot 5 because the sights in general are a lot more clearer and crisp. It is kind of that all-purpose weapon. I'm still not sure, like, if it has a situation where it shines yet, per se, but it does seem like quite a laser beam, especially at those, like, mid-ranges. And it does fill that role of an all-purpose weapon. So I just feel like it's not quite it still needs a tiny bit more work. As you can see here, I can hit this guy all the way across the map with a one-time sight, just do some damage. I can't kill him at that range with this thing, but you can shoot pretty clearly at those middle and even long ranges with the AR. So it's never a bad weapon to have. It's certainly, it's gonna do its job for you. It's just not gonna like blow your mind either, especially with those iron sights right now if you don't have a sight for it. So I'm putting the auto rifle in B tier. So in this clip, you're going to see me both use the auto shotgun and the LMG. I'm going to talk about the auto shotgun later, but the LMG here, this was my biggest problem with Snapshot 5's weapon meta overall. The LMG was ridiculously strong. It was an all-purpose weapon that was great in all situations. You could beam people across the map with it. It could shoot from the hip up close. It didn't slow your movement down. The reload wasn't long. It had a massive clip, obviously. And with the extended mags, which were widely available, extended mags are much harder to find in Snapshot 6 for all the guns, by the way. But they made a lot of changes to the LMG that, in my opinion, it still works. It still does a decent job. It's not a bad gun. It's not worthless, but it's definitely been moved out of the top tier in the meta. I'm going to go with B right now, and I'm going to tell you why. So it shoots a little bit slower. It takes a little bit longer to reload. That's not a big deal. I even think the shooting slower thing, it feels better. It feels like an LMG should, in my opinion. But the big thing about it that I've noticed is that up close, as you see me go up to this guy, it definitely has accuracy problems. And I don't know if that's, by design. I can't explain how the devs did that. I know there's patch notes you can check out. But it's not just me spraying poorly here. The longer you shoot this thing, I believe in the patch notes, it said the less accurate it gets, which makes sense for an LMG. It's a way to balance it. I'm a big fan of the changes. I think the LMG was way too strong. It made the gun less effective in a way, but I think it was good. It was way too good in Snapshot 5. In Snapshot 6, it acts more like an LMG should. An LMG should be like a mid-range suppression fire style gun. You shouldn't be bunny hopping with this thing, spraying from the hip and taking everybody out and shooting for days, and it doesn't even matter if you're missing your shots, right? Because you can just shoot and shoot and shoot. They've balanced the LMG. I think it's in B tier. I think that's where it should be. I think it's in a decent place, and I'm happy with those changes. Okay, so in this clip, I kill myself with a frag, but you're seeing the SMG at work here. I'm hearing a lot of people really like the SMG in Snapshot 6. Again, read the patch notes if you want to see exactly what they did to it. But because the LMG has been nerfed, because the double barrel had its range nerfed at least, and we'll get into that in a few, the SMG has kind of been bumped up. The SMG, to me, right now in DEADROP, feels a lot like something like the Alternator in Apex Legends. It's very easy to use. It's a pretty forgiving gun, and it does its role. It performs its function as a submachine gun. You can get up close. The base magazine is 40 bullets. It's feeling solid, and in Proving Ground 2, there's a lot of close quarters combat. So weapons like the SMGs and shotguns are probably going to slide up in the meta a little bit, and we'll talk about the shotguns. But overall, I think the SMG is it's feeling good. I like it. I would definitely take it. Yeah, SMG. I'm going high B, low A. Minor note about the SMG, it still takes a rifle extended mag, just like it did in Snapshot 5. So just take note of that if you're new or if you're wondering if it changed. Next up are our shotguns, which again, it's a more close-ranged meta right now in Proving Ground 2 in a lot of ways. The auto shotty was one of my favorite guns of this snapshot. Not only did it get a slightly updated model, it's not the finalized model, but it got a slightly updated model. This thing is really fun and easy to use. As you can see here, I clean up 2 people with the auto shotty. The base mag is 10 rounds, the extended mag is 15, and you can just easily shoot this thing. It's very strong. I think it might need a nerf in the long run. It might end up getting something like more recoil or something like that, but it feels really good. It feels like an automatic shotgun should. I love it. I love using it right now. I'm putting it in S tier. If you see an auto shotgun, absolutely pick it up, give it a try. The thing is lethal and it's dangerous, and with trios now in the game, like I said, being able to dump 10-15 rounds in one mag is definitely a benefit. Another one of the really nice things about the auto shotgun is you can pretty much shoot this thing from the hip. You can keep mobile and it's pretty accurate. You can just kind of strafe, move around, and keep spraying with this thing, and it's got that big pellet hitbox. So, you know, it's a very forgiving gun. Very potent, very forgiving. Okay, then there is the ranged shotgun, which you're seeing on screen, which has to be up for one of the coolest gun models we've seen in DeadDrop yet. I mean, just look at this thing. I got like Terminator vibes from this thing. This thing looks sick. And it's definitely a decent weapon. I feel like it's improved over Snapshot 5. I wasn't sure if they were going to keep this thing, you know, with slug type ammunition in DeadDrop. It would have a place in the meta, but with this new model, I think it's here to stay. And it's interesting because as you see in this clip, I take out this guy in 2 shots and it's got some range. It does its job. You can't quite put it 8 times on it and snipe somebody from a mile away. But if you have a 3-time sight or something, or, you know, I mean, I iron sight this guy. So I'm going to give it a B. And the main reason I'm going to give it a B instead of an A, which it's decent. Like I said, it's worth using. It's worth playing around with. The reason I'm going to give it a B is because it is pretty situational. It's a lot of cases when it comes to shotguns when you would have been better served if you have an auto shotgun or a double barrel, right? Those up close encounters, those are still going to be better up close. It's not bad up close. It's just those two are probably going to be better. And the small magazine of the ranged shotgun, obviously you can run around with 10, 15 rounds. The auto shotty double barrel can kill in 1-2 shots if you're a point blank. The ranged shotgun's good. Don't ignore it. Don't leave it there. It's just not better than the auto or the double barrel in my opinion. Although it probably looks better than both. Then there's my old baby, the double barrel. It is back in Snapshot 6, of course. It is no longer the one-size-fits-all absolute destruction beast that it was in Snapshot 5. It has appropriately had its ranged nerf. That makes sense. I still like the double barrel up close. If you're gonna hit your shots, there's it's got to be up close, literally one of the best guns. Of course, there's a risk reward. If you miss a shot or 2 shots, you're probably gonna be in trouble, right? Especially depending on your opponent's armor levels. You can still put an extended mag on this. I do wonder if that's gonna change down the road and you'll be limited to a 2-round magazine. I think if that happens, they can actually really make sure this thing keeps hitting like a truck because you can't add that 3rd round to it. But we'll see. This is not the final model of the gun, and we're still waiting for the final model for this one. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's still A tier. It's really, really good. It's not an S. You can't shoot people from 10 miles away. It's no longer overpowered like it used to be. It does its job as a close range, high risk, high reward shotgun, and still love it. Can't wait to see the finished model. Double barrel, A tier for me, but got an appropriate nerf. All right, and I almost forgot about the pump shotgun, which is one of those guns which has to go in B tier. I think it's decent. Again, it does its job, and it has one of the coolest animations in the game right now. When you grab it, if you notice how you cock it, it's just really, really cool looking, and it's got some great style and flair to it. The thing about the pump is you kind of need to play around cover with it and pop a shot, pop back in, pop a shot, pop back in. Because of the fire rate, it is a pump shotgun. I don't think it's as good as the auto shotgun or the double barrel. It doesn't have the range of the ranged shotgun. So I'm not quite sure when to use this thing. It's decent. You can run it. You can use it. It's B tier. I just think if it's ever going to be like a, you know, if we're ever going to have a pump shotgun meta, it's going to need some type of change. I don't know how to do that exactly. You get 8 shots in the mag by default right now. We'll see where it goes, right? But right now in Snapshot 6, I'm saying B. Pump shotguns are classics. The animation's sweet. I'm going B tier. All right, now we move on to the pistols, and the heavy pistol has to start this list. It is S tier, guys. It was not even worth using in Snapshot 5. It is now a beast. Not only did it get this sweet new model, it got sweet new animations. This thing's a truck. It hits for 60 damage to the body, as you just saw. 6-round magazine, like a true Magnum revolver. And if you're gonna hit your shots, I'm hearing a lot of people say this thing feels like the Wingman in Apex, and it really does. This is, in my opinion, the strongest pistol. It is an S tier weapon. If you're running around and you get hit with this thing, it's gonna stop you in your tracks. Even if you survive the shot, you're gonna be like, holy, you're gonna be totally on the defensive. Here you see me taking on 2 people with this thing, chasing them down. The first one goes down in like, I think it's 2 shots. And the other guy just runs. And I obviously have teammates with me in this clip. But you can see what I'm saying. It looks awesome. It's intimidating to hear, even the sound of it. You can headshot people. And this thing has crazy range too. If you put a scope on this thing, you can hit people from like all the way across the map with minimum bullet drop. So heavy pistol, appropriate buff, love it. It's meta right now. S tier for sure, no doubts about it. One of my favorite guns of the snapshot. Okay, here you're gonna see a really interesting clip of the auto pistol in which I kill 4 people in a row. And I think the thing with the auto pistol, I think it's an A tier gun. It's easy to use, it's forgiving. You can put an extended mag on it and get, I think, a 36 round magazine. You can move around with it. You can be very mobile, especially to low armor targets. You can just mow them down. And I actually think this thing might be a little overpowered because of that. When you respawn as a Sin, again, you get one of these for free right now. That may change later. Who knows? This game's going to evolve and change a lot. But this thing is solid. I mean, like, look, of course, it doesn't have, like, amazing range per se. But this thing is just... People are just running into me, and they're just getting collapsed 4 in a row. And it's just really strong. I don't know what else to say, guys. It's easy to use. You can shoot and run and move. It's A tier. I can't bring myself to say S, but I don't feel at a disadvantage when I have it. Like, it's a good gun. I still want to see the auto pistol reworked into an Uzi, like a second SMG. Give it a bigger mag, but just make it an Uzi, by the way. But that's just me. All right, next is the burst pistol. I'm putting this in C tier. I have continually heard from people in snapshots, both 5 and 6, that they think this thing is pretty lethal. And I'm not saying it can't be, but again, I just think there's so many other guns that I would take over this thing. And the burst pistol is so situational. I'm not saying you can't get kills with it. I don't think it's a great gun. The magazine is pretty limited, especially compared to something like, the auto pistol, which you can have just a much bigger, more forgiving magazine with. This model looks sweet. The new burst pistol model definitely looks sweet. It kind of reminds me of like a slightly futuristic Tech 9 or something you'd see from Terran Tactical. Call me, by the way, guys, for midnight. But anyway, burst pistol for me is C tier. I'm not saying it's useless. I just don't think it's great, and I would take most weapons over it. So I didn't have any easily accessible footage of the basic pistol. This is like the semi-auto. Again, this is a gun where I would put in C tier. I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it really has a place in the meta right now. There's most other guns I would take over this thing. It's not worthless. I would take virtually anything else over it or the burst pistol. It's fine. It is what it is. It's not supposed to be a power weapon, that's for sure. Just if you're talking about pistols, the heavy pistol and the auto pistol are both way stronger. So if you see a basic pistol, sure, use it if you need to. But I'm just, so far, I haven't found much of a reason to use it. I'm going C tier. This is one of my favorite clips of the snapshot so far. I have to talk about grenades because you can't really place them in a tier. They're only throwable other than smokes right now. But frags are in. And it's an interesting thing. I love using them. I'm actually having a lot of fun. Here's a guy that I kill looting while I'm throwing 2 frags at him. Notice they land pretty close, and it takes 2 to kill him. And I don't think he was at full health. The first one hits him for 44. Oh, the second one says it hit him for 180. But I'm not sure of their consistency yet. I'm not sure of how strong they are yet. That first one looks pretty close and seems like it probably should have killed him. I just don't know how I feel about their actual effectiveness yet. Do I think they're a great addition to the game? Yes. So I think they may need more balancing. Maybe, whether that be the size of the explosion needs to come down, but the damage goes up. I don't know. I'm really looking forward to trying them. I haven't had too many opportunities yet to throw them into a small contained area. I'd really like to get them on the way up to Crane when there's somebody hiding in one of those dinky little rooms. I don't even know how to describe it, but there's those dinky little side rooms with nothing but a couple barrels in there. I really want to chuck a frag in there, chuck a frag through a window in one of the apartments on Proving Ground 2, and get some more kills. But because the damage is relatively low on these right now, and I'm not sure if they should be super high, like I said, you don't have to be overpowered. You gotta have a balancing act here. I'm not sure. Maybe you make them more rare. but you increase the power to make them really great and fun to use. I don't know, but frags are in. I'm enjoying them, and I think these need some tinkering. All right, so in closing, our S tiers are absolute must-use weapons. Our sniper rifle, auto shotgun, heavy pistol. Our A tiers, SMG and double barrel shotgun. Our B tiers, auto rifle, ranged shotgun, pump shotgun, and LMG. And then our C tier are the semi-auto pistol, the burst pistol, and the DMR. There's no real bad guns in the game right now. So everything's balanced very well, especially because they changed the loot on both maps. I think the loot is very well balanced in general. There's not too many of this gun or too many of that gun. Like sniper rifles were everywhere in Snapshot 5, and the inventory space has come down, which really shifts what you bring into the game with you. It seems like there's a little less potency. Not everybody's in high tier armor all the time with a sniper rifle with an 8 times scope on it, which is good. That's obviously where the game had to go. There's just certain guns that are better than others and worth using and have more application, I think, to use. For example, I really love the ranged shotgun right now, but it's not going to be great in every situation, so I had to put it in B tier. But I'm loving it. It very well could be moved into an A tier gun. It has its uses. So overall, I'm loving the current meta. I'm loving the addition of a lot of these items, which I'm going to get into other videos all about that. You know, how does the zip line, what did they call it? The zip line thruster change the meta? We're going to do a movement guide. There's new healing items. Everything has changed, guys. There's so many guides coming to this channel. Make sure you subscribe for more Dead Drop content. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Mayor Reynolds, Midnight Mayor, out. This video is sponsored by Control. Control is gamers' go-to brand for protein, for nutrition. This is stuff that gamers have not traditionally done very well with, right? We all got that gamer diet where we eat Doritos and things that we shouldn't eat. Control is your solution to that. And you can use code MAYOR at checkout to get 10% off. They have these meal shakes, meal replacement shakes, protein shakes, whatever you want to call them. And they've got amazing flavors like cinnamon toast, cookies and cream, peanut butter crunch, fruity flakes, cocoa crunch, apple smacks, gingerbread cookie. My personal recommendations is gingerbread is really good. Cinnamon toast is really good. Think of your favorite cereal and then think of it in protein shake form. You're gonna love these flavors. It's gonna help with your nutrition, and more of us gamers need to think about this. So use code MAYOR at checkout to get 10% off. We'll see you out there.